are up to. So we said that the person has to be humble before every person. You never know how much the person puts effort to fight his Yesara. He says, "V'mali b'chinat sur meira, mali b'chinat setov." And he has to realize that, right? You see a guy who's not so religious, and he doesn't do mitzvot, positive commandments. You have to realize that we have two types of commandments: not doing evil and doing positive. Okay, so I say to him, he doesn't do positive, but do I stay away from evil? A lot of times I do positive, I do commandments, I put the tefillin, I learn Torah, I pray, but when I go home, I don't have derech eretz. Or when I go to business, I steal. Or when I go and eat, I don't eat with the bracha, or I don't eat kasher, or in some other thing I'm lacking. I'm doing sins. And this other guy, he doesn't steal, he has a lot of derech eretz, and he's respectful, and he makes sure to stick to his word. Okay, he doesn't put tefillin. Okay, he doesn't pray. We have to realize that I look down at him, but there's also a reason why he should look down at me. So how can we judge him? Do I do everything he does, and I expect him to do everything I do, but do I do what he does? Maybe he's better at me, and a lot of other things. So therefore, a person has to know that because he's failing to do good, maybe I fail to turn away from evil. So to other commandments, especially financials, right? Such as worship through tzedakah. Sometimes the few mitzvot they do it right, and the many mitzvot I do wrong. So a person has to not judge other people, and he has to realize they have to always learn from other people, as the Baal Shem Tov used to say. If God made you see somebody do a sin, that means from Shamayim they wanted you to see this for you to get a lesson from this. If you see somebody's Halal Shabbat, that means you need to work on your Shmirat Shabbat. Why did Hashem make you see somebody's Halal Shabbat? From all the other people. Why did He make you see it? If you see somebody do something immoral, see somebody do stealing in business, you see somebody eating not kasher, all these things is not for no reason. It says whoever sees the sotah in the middle of her balagan, he should take upon himself to become Nazir. Why? So you see this concept. When you see somebody doing something wrong, you have to right away do teshuvah and take upon yourself not to fall and to become that person. And that's why a person has to realize everything Hashem shows you is not to judge, it's to judge yourself and to correct yourself, and it's a message for you, it's a musar for you. So therefore he says, even in the area of avoiding sins, even though the religious person looks like he's doing better job, an intelligent person, if you really do cheshbon nefesh, you really check yourself, you'll see that you're not fully away from evil yourself. In every instance where there's intense struggle, like we mentioned before, right? Even in a struggle that's less than what we described before. For example, you're learning, right? And you want to have a conversation about random things. You want to start talking about politics. You're not supposed to talk about politics. Learning bitul Torah. So not everybody is able to, even if you're very religious, you're not able. A lot of people are not able to push themselves to pass that test. Or a lot of times lashon hara, right? Things come up. People want to talk about, slish. You heard, why are you upset? Because so and so talked to me like this. So and so said like this. Even very religious people have a hard time holding their mouth, right? Even if the negative comment he said had very little negativity to it, not so bad. Still, we find ourselves in many situations where we're not separate from evil ourselves. Like Rabbi Shimon said to Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, his father, Lav ana katvei, I did not write this. Right? Ela Yehuda chayta katvei. Rabbi Yehuda the tailor wrote it. And his father said, stay away from lashon hara. Look at this. The rabbis in the Gemara, there was a problematic divorce document, it wasn't good. So Rabbi Yehuda Nasi said, we talked to his son, he said, what is this you made? Rabbi Shimon, his son, said, I didn't write this. Yehuda, the Sefer, he wrote this. And what is he saying? He's basically saying, he made a mistake. And his father told him, what are you saying, Lashon Hara? What is this? What are you saying, Lashon Hara? So, okay, say I didn't do it. Well, why are you saying Lashon Hara? So you see that even rabbis in the Gemara, very religious, it's very hard to stay away from saying something negative, even small negative about somebody else. How much more so when you do permitted things, when tzaddikim, when religious people eat, do they always eat l'shem shamayim? When they go to sleep, do they always sleep l'shem shamayim? When they're with their wife, do they always do l'shem shamayim? It's very hard. Even over there, a lot of times we fall to the Yesara and do it for selfish reasons. So therefore, how we can say, they're not religious, look how much in the evil they are. You're also in many ways in the evil also. Right? You were all in the same boat, So how can we go and judge them? Vegam, divrei sofrim hamorim, the words of the rabbis, are we always fulfilling the words of the rabbanans? The rabbanans are very hard to keep. Rather, there's many things that even religious people, they step with their heel on it, right? It says Yaakov Avinu, right? The Yadayim Yidei Esav, he said the hands of hands of Esav, and the voice is the voice of Yaakov. And the sages tell us when the voice of Yaakov is strong, so then the hands of Esav is weak. And when the voice of Yaakov is weak, so that's when the hands of Esav is strong. And where does Yaakov need to have strong voice? Specifically in the mitzvot that the person steps on his heel. Kashrut, Shabbat, Tzedakah, a lot of people, the value. Brit Milah, everybody knows the value of. But you need to focus on the mitzvot that you don't value. Birkat Hamazon, and not speaking during the prayers, and learning the morning and the evening, and having Shalom Bayit, speaking nicely to people, Derech Eretz. These are all things that people step on with their foot. That's where we have to put a focus on, and that's where we have to say, this is what it means to be a tzaddik. אבל באמת, הוא יודע ספר מחזיק בתורת השם, קרבת אלוקים יחפץ, גדול עוונו מנשוא. You have to know, in the opposite, the more you know, is the worse it looks on you. If you didn't know, you didn't do chai, you didn't know. You know, and you still do. So who's really going to be judged worse? Who? So how can we go and judge them? So therefore a person has to realize, I cannot judge other person, I can only judge myself. He says, you see that guy who sits in the corner on the street, he's a far away from Hashem guy, he's far from the Torah. They never went to yeshiva. Nobody explained to them what Shabbat means. Nobody explained to them what Torah is. They don't know how sweet Torah is. They don't know what netz is. They don't know what mikveh is. They have no idea from these things. Nobody showed them. And you look at them like, hey, see, I'm better than this guy. This guy goes straight to Gehenna, this guy. And me, tzaddik. And you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. We don't know how everybody gets judged and how Hashem judges each person. Each person according to what he went through in his life, We know what we know and they know what they know. And therefore we have to realize that it's not so simple to be someone who judges. Look at this. As it says, we'll finish over here. It says, like our sages say about Acher, right? Elisha ben Avuya went off the derech, Rameir Balanes's rabbi, right? And his sin was greater because he knew my glory. Hashem punished him more. Why? Because he went off derech, he didn't keep Shabbat, he went with prostitutes, and he broke it, he went off derech completely. And what? Over there, it was Rameir Balanes tried so hard to make him do teshuvah, and he prayed for him they should be able to go to Gehenna. And then afterwards, he saw after a few times, they checked his grave, they saw the smoke coming from his grave. They got relaxed because Meir Balanes said, oh, finally he went to Gehenna. He's burning, thank God. Because you need the zechut to go to Gehenna. He said, I wish that you should have the zechut to go to Gehenna. Because that's how much Hashem wanted to punish him. Because Hashem, heavenly voice came out and said, you cannot do teshuvah. And from that, Elisha ben Avuya said, I give up on myself. And Meir Balanes told him, no, don't give up, you can still do teshuvah. But Hashem was so strict with him. Why? Because you know my glory. You know so much Torah and you went off the derech. So Hashem is more strict over there. So you see that maybe we have to judge ourselves more than the other guy. Baruch Hashem.